My Chinese Business, podcast number 12. Hi, welcome to today's podcast. This podcast, it doesn't have an article with it, at least not yet, on mychinesebusiness.com, but I feel it's very important, the information I'm going to share. We're going to talk about communicating with Chinese employees or Chinese coworkers. And this topic came about because I just got off talking to a former employee of mine for about 30 minutes. Now, she no longer works at the company that me and my Chinese partner started in China. She now works for IBM in China. Pretty big step up. I'm very proud of her. But she's never really had any other foreign coworkers or bosses other than me. And at the new place she's at, she's kind of discovered she has a few problems. Now, she sent me a transcript of the conversation she had last night with a person she's helping or communicating with in the U.S. And I was looking over the transcript, and to me it didn't seem rude at all. But to her, she said the person was very rude. And she asked me what she could do to change it so in the future she'd have better relations with co-workers and other foreigners. Now, here's the problem. When Chinese people speak English, just as when Americans speak other languages, we normally directly translate. For example, if in English you'd say, I go to the store, if you switch to another language, you'd probably use the same words in that order, even if it's not grammatically correct, or even if it's not what they say. And here's the problem in Chinese, or in China. They use very in front of everything. Everything is hen hao, everything hen da, ta hen peng, ta hen bu so, very good, very fat, very, it's just everything's very, because that's how the language, they say it so it's clear. Now when you're speaking English, you normally just say, oh, that's good, not that's very good. You'd only say that's very good, for emphasize when it is something special. But when I was looking at the transcript, she was saying, the American, oh, that's okay, oh, that's good, whereas the Chinese person was looking at it thinking, oh, she doesn't approve of it, she doesn't think it's good enough, because to her, in her mind, when she reads English or talks to someone in English, she wants to hear it exactly how it would be spoken in Chinese. She wants to hear, oh, that's very good for something that we would consider just okay. She wants to hear, that's very amazing for something we would think is, pretty good. And by not hearing it, she felt the person, the American, was being rude. Now, how to communicate with someone, a Chinese coworker or a Chinese employee, if you just want to say things are okay or things are great? Well, what I found very useful was if I wanted to emphasize a good job, I would compliment her in front of people, and that gave them face. And I got very good responses when I would do this with people. If I just complimented them privately, saying that's good, they liked that. But if I said that's good in front of other people, they really took that to heart. Just as if I said that was bad in front of people, it was devastating. But if I just told the one person that was bad, they would, kind of change their ways. So this also goes the other way as well. If a Chinese person to you says, oh, that's very good, that's very great, to them it could just mean that's okay. So when you're working with your coworkers or employees or your boss or just the Chinese American or Western relationship, to be extra polite, try to say everything is very good. Oh, this is very outstanding. I know it's not even proper English, but that's how the communication kind of works. And you'll get better responses that way. And if you're Chinese and you're listening to this, just remember that in Western countries, we don't use the word very as often. So if you do hear something's very good, translate that into that's something special, something amazing. But if you just hear good or okay, that would be the equivalent of hen hao or very good back in Chinese. One other thing I'd like to make a comment on is a time zone difference. And I think this really did play a part in the conversation or the feelings as well, because the person in America was communicated in her afternoon, whereas the Chinese worker, it was her night. She was overtime. You know, she doesn't get paid extra. She just has to be there for the meeting to get everything arranged. So when the American was saying, hold on at 5 minutes, hold on 10 minutes, let me look for something, well, that was actually 10:30 at night in China. And my former coworker or employee really wanted just to go home. So every time the American was saying, just hold on a couple minutes, well, that couple minutes was, I haven't had dinner yet, I'm starving, I want to go home. So that could be very agitated on the Chinese end. So that's just one thing to keep in mind, especially outsourcing. If you're having anything to do with other countries, respect time zones. I mean, it's very important. There's been times where I had to call the States when I was in China, and I would set my alarm for 3 in the morning. Yeah, pretty terrible. And I would make a phone call. Sometimes I'd wake up at 4:35. It was all hours where I'd have to wake up. But I knew that was part of doing business, part of living there. You have to make sacrifices. And I was willing to do that. And there's a lot of people that are. But it's always good to hear, thank you, sorry to wake you up this time. I appreciate what you're doing. And for the person on the other end in the U.S. to be very organized so things can be done as quickly as possible. Okay, so that was just a quick little thought I wanted to get out there. I mean, it was just because I just got off QQ with a buddy of mine. And yeah, I hope everyone appreciates this information and it's very useful, and I hope you get a lot out of it. Remember, visit my website, mychinesebusiness.com. Check out my YouTube videos at My Chinese Business. And if you have any questions, contact me, let me know, and I'll answer them in future podcasts. All right, take care. My name is Sean, signing off. Bye.